be able to hear me on channel 1. And you're on the downtown tour, which means Empire State Building, you know, World Trade Center, things like that, okay? Just get my hat working. The most important thing is if we're moving, don't stand up, right? Because sometimes the traffic lights are here, sometimes they're here, right? Make sure this guy doesn't stand up. It's a little dangerous, right? Okay. Fantastic building. But, talk about the library. The big kind of silver eagles that cut out the lower roof. The idea is they would represent the hood ornament of a Chrysler car. You know, like a Jaguar car. So they can just snap over here. Still too much sun, right? So, sticking out the top of the Chrysler building, there's a big spire, and it's about 185 feet. There's a story about that. There were two architects. They were friends, and they had a fight. They hate each other. And he said, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to build the tallest building in the world. It'll be so solid. So much money. So one building's a Chrysler building, another building on Wall Street. You can't see it right now. It's Trump now. We're down on Wall Street. Well, it has a Russian flag. So these guys are watching each other across town. The Chrysler guys build this spire, but they don't show it. They have an idiot inside the building. So according to Wall Street, they're rivals. The Chrysler guys say, they bring up the spire from the inside. Watch. We won about a year later. Inside, beautiful building. Go inside to the right side. The main branch of the library. Any American who wants to talk about but anyway, beautiful 1912 building, gold it's a research library. He said something about books a long time ago. But before the library, you can study something. Straight out of the right side. You can't see the whole thing at once. You need the sight. You gotta lead up this stuff slowly. One quick stop at Orange County Park. Stop anyway. The roast. Okay. So right now we can't see Empire State Building, but only you will. In fact, I get mad because when you have a beautiful building like the Empire State Building, and they put all these buildings next to it, it kind of blocks the view. It's not the same. What can I say? They didn't listen to me. But if you want to go there, if you want to go to the observatory, it's open late at night. You go there at midnight. They'll be open. And when it swings into view, there's a tower, and on top of the tower, another TV antenna. We're talking about antennas here. But when they built that tower, the idea was people didn't use a tower for a TV antenna or radio antenna. The idea was this tower was a place to land blimps, zeppelins. They thought a dirigible, a zeppelin, would come floating into New York before the Hindenburg. They sort of tie it up like you dock in a boat. Tie it to the zeppelin, drop off the ship. It wasn't a good idea because even on a lovely calm day, the wind is always blowing up there like crazy. Really strong winds because of the size of the building. You guys are trying to dock the zeppelin up there.
बस्न अहिले यहाँ हेर्न सायल दादालाई हाई भन् भाइ कति वर्षमा आयो न्युयोर्क सिटी छैन अहिले नानी
So the whole idea is, Empire State Building, we're going to build the biggest building in the world. Nothing like it. You got to remember, New York is the only city with a skyscraper. It's like this, for a long time. Now the whole skyscraper, so it's a different time. And they're going to build the biggest building in the world. They're going to rent out businesses, make money. And as soon as they start working on the Empire State Building, the stock market crashes. There's no money. The economy is just devastated. So they said, oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's just get it done. Get it done fast. And did they have they got it done a little bit over a year. It was like unheard of. They make the steel kind of ready to go. There was one foundry in Pittsburgh just for this building. This foundry was just for the Empire State Building. And it would arrive, everything measured, built. And these guys were hungry for work, no jobs. So they just got it done in 0.2 months. The steel really makes it possible. The old buildings, the walls support the building, the bottom supports the building. So this is supported by the steel frame. So imagine guys up there at thousands in the air, balancing their beams, heating rivets, buckets of clay. They got it done. Couldn't rent out much. For a long time they called it the Empire State Building. If you want to walk over to Macy's, you can do it from this stop. Of course, it's also the stop for the Empire State Building. So there it is in all its glory, 102 stories high, 1,250 feet. One of the great buildings of all time, the Empire State Building. We live in the Empire State Building. Right before the end of World War II, an airplane crashed in the Empire State Building. There was an American military aircraft called the Mitchell bomber. These guys, they tried to go to New Jersey, tried to go to New York, and it was so foggy that they didn't see it. They end up crashing in 75 or something got off the road. Again, I was going to turn in the morning to do a you probably don't remember a ferry, never very well remember those. It was very grand. Sleeping in Seattle, one of the pop artists, Andy Warhol, he made the weirdest movie about the Empire State Building. It was called Empire. It was 8 hours long. Shot the Empire State Building 8 hours. And as you see that one, it was brilliant. We saw it 9 times. I got the box set. Alright, we're going to go to the right side.
हेन दर्शन आपा न्युयोर्क सिटी हेरौँ है यस्तै रहेछ हाई के सब Ilda. बसे भाइ बसे मान्छे आउँदैछ नि
Next stop, guys, is the flat iron building. And, this cover, when you talk about buildings, it's just hard to see right down. By the way, there's a church called the Marble Collegiate Church on the right side. We had a famous minister, a guy named Norman Vincent Peale. He wrote a book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Think positive, we're all going to get rich here. All right. So right down the road, we're heading towards a classic air building that's called Classic Iron. So we built 9 Fifth Avenue meets Broadway. They said, okay, we want to build on this triangle. What do you think? They said, yeah, okay. They made the building a triangle. 1902. Amazing. Still looks modern, still looks beautiful. Classic. Right next to the Flatiron Building on the left is Madison Square Park. And we have something in New York City called Madison Square Garden. It's on 33rd over at Madison Square Park. And that's where the name came from. In fact, if you go there now, you know, it's...
No.
Hey, which one's the square? They'll say the round, the round above the square, just because it's better. You might have seen this in Spider-Man. The movie is the Daily New newspaper, right? Dock my pay by 50 cents if I lose. Every person I lose it.
The line down.
Okay, guys. You read the newspaper about 8 days ago. They had a little explosion here. Steam pipes exploded. There were these old pipes that finally gave way, and you know, two huge explosions. And the lucky thing was it was at 6 o'clock in the morning, so nobody got. So 1811, everybody's downtown, and they want to move business uptown. They have this idea, they flatten out the island, lay out these numbered streets, the grid, first street, second street, third street, and everybody want 14th Street. Okay, nobody. So, yeah, they want to move business uptown. Uptown's a bunch of Dutch farmers up there. So they lay out all these numbered streets so they can sort of orderly move business uptown. Stuck in traffic, they have a name for that. Gridlock. And they always say it about the government. Bit long and long. So, Old 14th Street is considered to be downtown. Like, I've always lived downtown. They joke about it. Oh, yeah, you're a downtown person. You never go above 14th Street. You get nosebleeds, leave your neighborhood. All right. So we're going to go downtown into the village. You guys ever heard of Greenwich Village? So now it costs a fortune to live there. We can't really take the bus inside. If you go deeper into the village, it becomes all these tiny little streets. That's why it's the village. Now it's very expensive. But it was always a neighborhood of I love of artists, writers, poets. They showed up in the early 60s, folk music. You might have heard of the other dude named Bob Dylan, about 20 years old. Or you can go back to Edgar Allan Poe, writer from the 1890s. You felt like you're different, you know? You go to Greenwich Village, you find the other people that you cannot fit in with them, right? So nonconformity, you know, finding a new kind of freedom. And then eventually it got very, very expensive. It was beautiful there in the park that serves the village, Elizabeth Fountain, straight ahead of the archway. It's called Washington Square Park. So if you show a montage of New York Empire State Building, you want to show the village, show the archway of Square Park. New York University, NYU, is located all along the park, basically, in Greenwich Village. It's a huge private university. $50,000 a year to go there, so they're wasting a lot of purple flags. They're very fond. Watch out for tree branches. Sometimes even if you're sitting down, be careful. So sometimes these little one-person balconies, you know, they call that Juliet balconies. See, Juliet can go out there and wait for Romeo. You're very romantic. Anyone want to wait for Romeo? That's how I met my third wife. You see that little balcony? I was given a tour, and a woman came to the balcony and said, "Tour guide, what you said people I love you." I said, "Oh, really?" So I jumped up on the balcony and I said, "Will you marry me, darling?" She said, "Yes, 1,000 times yes." But I had to finish my tour, so I jumped back on the bus, and when I got back, she was gone. So I had to see her for 3 years. If I see her, I'm going to marry on top of the bus. I have my wedding license here. So if you see this woman, she's 6'11". She has no teeth. And I can. And I'm going to marry on top of the bus. You know. That's her. All right. So this is, we're going to take a trip down Broadway. Does anyone want the Greenwich Village stop? If we get on the Greenwich Village?
Hả? Càng làm rất nhiều.
Alright, nobody getting up. No, nobody. Okay, so we're going to take a right on Broadway. We see the plaques that come out of the building. They're called the Continental. Alright, we're going to take a right and just have to, throw that one real fast. There's a church called Grace Church on the left. The same architect built St. Patrick's Cathedral. His name is James Brenner. Now this is my neighborhood on the left now. It's called the East Village. So when Greenwich Village got expensive, all the crazy hippies and starving artists and punk rockers and squatters and offbeat characters moved to the East Village. Now that's getting expensive over there. If anyone's gonna hit the bars, cafes, like Friday night is gonna be crazy and people drinking in the streets. My first New York apartment, 1981, we might have heard of this girl that lived upstairs and she got famous Madonna. She lived upstairs, I didn't know her, right before she was famous. The next place I lived, Lady Gaga lived across the street. So if you guys want to get famous, just move near me. You come down to the East Village. It takes about 6 months to be rock stars. No problem, I guarantee it. I need a small down payment, just for expense. Work it out. Our next stop is called NoHo, which is Next stop, Soho. Anybody here?
Kelly. So. Huh?
All right, we're going to cross Houston, and we'll be off the grid. The grid would simply be the numbered streets. In other words, the streets won't have numbers anymore, because First Street is the last street, right? But then it becomes Soho. By the way, there's an interesting style of architecture. In Soho, you'll see a lot of buildings that have this look: pillar, window, pillar, window, pillar, window. They're called cast iron. They're like instant houses from the 1800s. You know, they're made out of iron. You'd order a building, oh, I like this design, and they'd carve up the hot metal. They'd make a section, and they would simply make all the sections in the mold and deliver the sections and just snap the building together. It would originally be like that all the way around, not just the front. So you'll see a lot of examples of what they call the cast iron building. In the old days, they called Soho the cast iron district. And if you're going shopping, this is the place. If you're going downtown shopping, it's store after store after store after store. Down the side, you see the fancy stores. And all these top stores, like 3 items, like 3 items store, a beach ball, a cucumber, and a razor, 5,000 square feet. Now, any fans of David Bowie? He lived about a block to the left on Prince Street at the time of his death. So, last part of his life. Anybody getting off in Soho? Okay. Nobody getting off in Soho. Next stop is Chinatown, and if you want Little Italy, you can walk to it from the Chinatown stop. It used to be a large Italian neighborhood, Italian immigrants, but those days passed, and they didn't want to lose Little Italy entirely, so they kept one street of Italian restaurants and shops. If you went about 5 streets over to the left, running parallel to Broadway is a street called Mulberry Street, and that's Little Italy. It's very charming, but it's not like all the Italians live there. It's just Italian restaurants and shops for old time's sake. The Lower East Side, everything to our left is east. 1900, it was the most crowded place on earth. It was all the poor immigrants, wave after wave of immigrants coming into New York. And you had the Irish Street, the Jewish Street, the Italian Street. At the beginning, nobody wanted to think, if you're a Jewish guy, don't walk down the Italian Street, they're going to kill you, that kind of thing. But eventually the melting pot, things loosened up a bit. But now the world's global, so it's everywhere. But New York is where it started. Where you come from somewhere else, you're a New Yorker. You see the Statue of Liberty. So that story began on these streets. The metal staircases are fire escapes. You can't get out your door, and there's some emergency. You climb out your window. The old buildings don't have the sprinklers, and you climb down the ladder. And they don't want the ladder going all the way down the sidewalk. So at the bottom, there's a hook. Like it's about 7 inches. You take it off the hook and slide the last part down. Get out of there. I live in a building with a fire escape, East Philadelphia, and that's like my balcony. That's New York with the fire escape. So when we leave Soho, we'll move into Chinatown, and then we'll go down to World Trade Center.
भने अब वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेन्टर गइरहेछ है, चाइना टाउन गइन्छ अरे, अनि त्यस पछाडि वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेन्टर अब हेर्दै गर्ने एकछिन लाइभ.
You're rumbling below us, guys. That's a subway. You guys think of the subways yet? People get all nervous about that. cast iron building. It has a great history. They installed the first passenger elevator here. They had elevators. People said, "Oh, I don't think I want to ride it." So a guy named Elisha Otis invents the Otis elevator with a safety brake. So the cable breaks, the safety brake works. Gets on his own elevator. He said, "All right, cut the cables. I'll be the first." So it worked out all right. They still got Otis elevators. 1858. We had a president by the name of Abraham Lincoln. His wife went on this huge shopping. Take a makeup test. All right, we're going to take a left on Canal Street. The heart of Goodbye. So, hello. And when we stood in the canal, did link, and they said, we don't need this canal. So why don't we just fill it up with cement? We'll call it Canal Street. That's the heart of town. Some people come down here to buy the knockoffs. You get a Gucci bag for $20 down here. It might be spelled a little differently. G-O-O-T-H-I. Rolex watch. We call it the knockoffs. It's an imitation of famous brands. You'll see guys in the corner selling them, or they'll take you to a secret place to buy them. Hey, you want to buy a purse? Buy a purse. I got some real ones downstairs. You want a real Gucci bag? I got some real ones there. All right. So let's check out Chinatown. Huge Chinatown. There's also the one up in Queens, New York. But this is like the kind of working class immigrant Chinatown. And the one up in Queens is more like upper middle class Chinatown. All right. Welcome to Canal Street. Right turn. You know, we have a lot of Chinese drivers. You know, they teach me Chinese, sort of just by translating all the Chinese characters that we see all around us. We're going to take a right turn. Just past the next light. Here's more cast iron. You see all around us. Little Italy, if you walked up to Mulberry Street, straight ahead, took a left. That's all Italian restaurants. All right, we're gonna go past the light and make our Chinatown stop. Does anyone want the Chinatown stop? Anything for Chinatown? Nobody for Chinatown. Check out this old fire station in front of us on the left. 1895. Like a firehouse. Off the left is the courthouse. You watch shows like Law and Order, you know, all the real trials, and of course the fictitious trials. The courthouse is to your left. Hello. The monument is a tribute to the African Americans to slavery and African trials. And in a moment, we're going to move by the building where I really did get married in. And it's straight ahead. It's that massive building with the gold statue. It's an incredibly powerful 1912 government building called the Municipal Building. So the courthouses, law and order. Behind that would have been the original gangs, New York territory. The monument to the African American experience, triumph of the human spirit, and the building where you get married, divorced, the Municipal Building. When we move past that Municipal Building, you'll get a shot at the Brooklyn Bridge on the left side. We're taking plans for the Brooklyn Bridge, all right? Everything turns into a skateboarding park sooner or later in New York. Even the sacred monument. Modern architect. So the original names of New York are carved up above these pillars. New Amsterdam, Dutch name. So in the 1600s, very early 1600s, there was like a company. They were almost like Microsoft. They were from all over. So we can make some money here because it's a great harbor. You know, everything was shipping. But the English take it from the Dutch. They call New Amsterdam New York. You know, the 1664. And of course, the American Indian name. This powerful government building with a little police station inside. And when you cross over the intersection, off to the left, you'll see the Brooklyn Bridge there. And we'll take a look at the Brooklyn Bridge. If you ever are up for a walk across the bridge, go for the Brooklyn. It's beautiful, beautiful old bridge. These massive stone towers in the water. So look to about 8 feet.
Bonnie, está aí essa mais? Logo no meio.
Next stop is the World Trade Center. If you want to get off the bus and visit World Trade Center, the next stop is New York. If you want to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, the next stop. After that, we'll go down to Wall Street and Battery.
World Trade Center.
I go bridge. Oh, the top of the
World
bridge.
Trade Center. Anybody getting off the World Trade Center? That's our next stop. We do work for tips.
I
Throw
go
one in the little bucket by our car. And it's one World Trade Center, ground zero. You get off the bus, walk to the right. There's about 5 more buses after this one. The last one leaves at 6 o'clock. So you're good for about an hour and a half, maybe about 2 hours. But then the bus will stop running. So if you get off the bus, don't wait more than 2 hours. There's a night tour from Times Square, but they don't pick people up. All right.
जानु पाइँदैन होला नि
Anybody want World Trade Center? Ground zero.
World Trade Center.
World Trade Center.
Last को 6 साढे अरे
त्यहीको थियो
लास्ट बस 6 साढे अरे
यो भयो
लास्ट बस हो अब आउने आउँदैन न अरू बस 6 साढे 7 मात्र पुग्यो हुन्छ अरे यहीमा मात्र पुगेको गर्नु
World Trade Center त्यसलाई भन्नु
Incredible New York building. Looks straight up in front of you. Looks like a castle. It's called the Woolworth Building. In 1913, it was the tallest building in the world. Beautiful building. In the old days, the old days, your company was represented by your building, not advertised. This massive shrine. Incredible. It's like they called it the Cathedral of Commerce. A beautiful stonework, like lace coming down the sides of the building. I wish they still lit it up at night. They don't anymore. I just look out my window and look at the Woolworth building. Dream of becoming a tour guide someday. We're gonna take a left turn and meet by St. Paul's Chapel. All right. You'll see a chapel off to the left where those trees are across the street. Now, right behind that chapel, when we go by, you'll see the tallest building of rebuilt Ground Zero, the Freedom Tower, or One World, 1776 feet tall. When 9/11 happened and all the hell came down from the sky, that chapel was undamaged. They would take care of the rescue workers inside there. All right. You need a place to put your gum. That's what this sign is for. Don't stand up though. The other day I stood up, I turned around, a piece of gum hit my forehead, and I was just hanging there. And everybody on the bus spanked me when they went by and laughed and made fun of me. It was just humiliating. So be careful, don't stand up, all right? Okay. So you'll see the Freedom Tower to your right. Now St. Paul's, when the rescue workers just needed a break, that church wasn't damaged when 9/11 happened. They would collapse and they would take care of them. To get them break. So on against Freedom Tower.
World Trade Center are there.
Keep looking straight ahead and you'll see another church, another old brown church. Exactly across the street, the beginning of Wall Street with the stock exchange. This is the third Trinity Church. The first one burned down. It was a great fire in 1776. Everything was made out of wood. It was like the whole city burned. Buildings out of stone, right? In this cemetery, there's a grave marked Alexander Hamilton, and that's the big show on Broadway now. You can't get tickets. He was one of our founding fathers, but comes to New York about 20 years old. He's a brilliant guy. Served George Washington as his aide, built the banking system. But he died in a duel. The vice president shot him. Believe that? Not Dick Cheney. This is Aaron Burr, a long time ago. Also, Robert Fulton is buried there. He kind of marketed the steamboat. That was the new technology. You don't have to wait for the wind. Steamboat, get right across the river in 15 minutes. So you see Fulton Street, all over New York for Robert Fulton. Next stop, Trinity Church, Wall Street, followed by Battery Park, Statue of Liberty.
Then our next stop is Statue of Liberty.